Hello, this is Carl at National RV Detroit once again for part 2 of your Flagstaff Tent Camper Model 206L TD. We left off at the setup and then the interior, so we're gonna pick up here putting it down into the stowed position. So let's get going. We already put the door up, if you remember in our last video. There's one thing I forgot to tell you about while we were doing the original setup. You have 2 of these here. These bars are reinforced the roof. People will tell you all different things they're for, various versions of some very creative anyway. But all they are is to reinforce the roof. There's just 2 of them. They go kitty corner from each other, and they just go up like this and then snap them in like that. This is because you're camping in the woods, and trees occasionally will fall in the woods. So this just gives the roof a lot more support. So you just snap them in there just in case. It's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot that anything would happen, but just in case you're protected. So there's only 2 of them, and they go kitty corner from each other. Okay? Safety bars. They store under the mattress. Okay, so let's go back inside here. And lift that mattress up, please. Just store like that. So, my partner here is going to remove the pole from this one and store it under the mattress. Let me get back here. Lift up the mattress and put it underneath. Like that. Then we'll go over and do the other one. Okay, so we have that. Alright, so then, remember I told you there's a kill switch on this sink. So when you put it in the down position, it'll automatically kill the power. Now we can operate the power from here, or there's a separate push button here in each one of them. But you also have the kill switch, so we're going to just kill it. And fold it down, like so. Okay, let me just look under here, make sure everything's good. Okay, alright, excellent. So we look to see if everything is off, which it is. Everything should be below these rails here, right? Right there I actually should be pointing. Everything should be below that because they have to slide in. Okay, so let's go outside. Everything looks good. And what we'll do is we'll start in the back here. Or heck, we'll start in the front. Why not? And my assistant's going to put his shoulder underneath there, and he's going to pull the bars out. And then while lifting, alright, just temporarily set them right here. So we get everything slid in. Okay. So to put these in, you're going to unsnap this first, right where we snapped them. You're going to bring up the skirting a bit, and you're going to tuck it over somewhat. Okay. Now if you choose to, you can bring this zipper up here on the corner of about 1 foot, just so you can tuck it in easier. It's up to you. Okay. Alright, so now he's going to lift and push in at the same time. So you got to lift up on it a bit. There you go. You slide them in. If it resists you at all, you stop, because if it's resisting you, something's wrong. So, okay, so let's do the same thing in the rear. Nothing should be that difficult. So like I said, if it's giving you a hard time, you've got to stop and look and see what's happening inside. So while we're here, we'll put the 2 back ones under the mattress towards the back. Whoops, I'm sorry, towards the back. And then the other 2 towards the front, so we know that those are the 2 front. Alright. Now we'll come back here, and remember we put our travel door underneath, so he'll pull that off underneath there, remember? The door? Yes. And slide it off the hinges and then put it on over here where it belongs. There we go. Okay, so we can just unsnap these like we started to do. Okay, and like I said, you can pull these zippers up 6 inches or a foot if you want, and it makes it easier to tuck this in. You don't have to do that, it just makes it a little easier. Okay, so he'll go ahead and slide it in. You lift a little bit and push in at the same time. There you go. In it goes. It shouldn't be resisting you. If it is, take a look. Is it resisting? Now if it resists, it could be just going in crooked. And if that happens, you just grab it in the center by the tail and pull it out a little bit and it'll straighten it out. But let's just look, see what's happening here. I want to make sure that we don't do any damage to anything. Okay, I'm just going to open this up a little bit so we can tuck it in. There we go. Okay, and then we can always just look in here to make sure everything is okay, which it is.
Oh wait, I think it's getting caught in the nose.
Which wire are you talking about? Oh no, it'll those are lines. It'll go right over that. That's supposed to happen. Those are water lines. So go ahead and push it in. There you go. And in it goes. Okay. All right, so now when we bring it down, we're going to tuck in as we go. So we'll bring it about 2/3 of the way down, and then we'll tuck it in, and then we'll go down to about 6 inches and tuck it in again, and then bring it down the rest of the way. So come down about 2/3 of the way to about right here. A little farther. That's good about right there. So then we're just going to tuck everything in at an arm's length. We're just getting it out of the way. Now that slamming that you heard, that's normal. That is the center part of these poles slamming down into place after it was lowered. So you'll hear that all the time. It's perfectly normal. You always want to get this behind there, but you don't want to tangle it up. You want it to be able to come out. So like we set this up when it was draining out a little bit. And so what you always want to do is get a rag here, let me find one, and just clean off around the edges. You never want to put it, you can put it away wet because sometimes you have to, because you know, it's going to be morning dew on it or it's raining when we leave the campsite sometimes, but you always want to remember, you set it up as soon as you can and dry it out. So it's not putting it away wet that's the problem as much as not opening it back up and drying it out, because sometimes you're going to have to, you know, you leave the campground and it's raining. What other choice do you have? So let me clean this up a bit here. Okay, sorry about the camera work, but do two things at once here. So, okay, so now we'll come down to about 6 inches or so. Bring it down to about right here. A little farther. That's pretty good right there. We'll tuck this again. Like I said, you always want to you never want to tangle this green tension gauge up. You just want to get it out of the way. I need two hands to do it properly here. I'll have to come back to it again. I'm holding the camera. I'll come back to it. So you're just going to put everything in an arm's length. Now you can see there's a seal up around here. It goes all the way around the perimeter of the roof. You want everything on the inside of it. That's important. So you see he's got it all tucked in. Whose music's that? Okay. All right. Yeah, just push that up. We're going to have to come down a little farther to get it to stay. So come on down with it. Keep coming. Keep coming. There you go, right there. Now we'll get the last of the stragglers. Like I said, the idea is to get all the canvas on the inside of that seal. Tail in there. Okay, so now just bring it down and see if it till it stops. That's good. Stop right there. You can see the line has a little slack in it, which is what you want right there. So we're good. So now we're just going to latch it here. That's good.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, we're going to latch it right here. So I can't really show you without, you got to push down on the roof, obviously. And you put that on there. Slide that over. Doing it one-handed, which is not easy. A little bit more. So I'm going to make adjustment on this one because this is brand new. Adjust it properly. That's good there. Excellent. Okay, and of course then the jacks are going to come up. Right behind you there you go. Get the other one up and we're all set. And of course we'll put the panels on the refrigerator. Remember I told you only have to really do the bottom one, the top one. Sometimes they'll have it split where the gas is on the top and the electric's on the bottom, but this one's gotten it all in one spot, so you're just going to have to remove the bottom panel when you do that. So to recap, one more thing. You're going to want to torque your lug nuts a couple more times to make sure they're at about 100, 110 foot-pounds, somewhere in there. It's important to do that after it's been pulled 100 miles or so. So you want to retorque those. If you don't have one, just go any place, any tire store, they'll do it for you. Remember that if you got kids around, they love that switch. So it's best to really take a cable off the battery, you know, to make sure that they can't just try and put it up when it's in storage or something with the latches latched. Kids being kids. Okay. So that's kind of an important thing. Otherwise, I think we've covered it all. We're going to show you a little bit about the awning. Hey, partner, come on over here. So we're not going to set the awning up, but I'm going to explain to you how it works. So we're going to unzip two zippers towards the end. Okay, all right. Then, while holding it, you're going to, so it doesn't unfurl, undo these bows here. Well, hold it to it. Okay, now unroll it. Okay, so I'll show you on this side here. So when you're all the way out, this goes back like this to that position right there. Okay, so now you've got this piece right here. You're going to bring it over, and you don't pull it all the way out like I just did. Let me set the camera down for a second. Okay. Now we got to go out with it. There we go. So, I'll just have to show you what I did. You can see I put this pole, I've extended them, and then you tighten them by turning them, and they go into this position right here. Whoops. Actually, they don't. They go to this position right here. See, I almost screwed up and told you the wrong stuff. So that goes like that. You bring it tight. Then this other one, here, you got to let this loose here. This one is going to go to the ground. So you'll just extend it to the ground, obviously. And then you get two stakes with it, and you'll stake it right to the ground, and that's it. It's all set up. All the poles are self-contained in it. It's easier to undo this while it's still in the down position, so you can reach it, unless you're really tall or you got a ladder. So keep that in mind. There is a screen room attachment that you can get for this. That's what these zippers are for. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to put these poles back into the rafter. They snap right in there, and then we're going to roll it back up and zip the casing up, and that's all we're going to do. So. Let's go ahead, fellas, get that back up into there. This one comes out of here. Now you do see they have another one of these on the side. The pole that goes to the ground, you can bring it over to this one here. We don't recommend it because it puts a lot of stress on the side of the trailer. Plus, you can, in the middle of the night, people tend to run into it. All right, so we're going to put this one back into here. Hopefully you can see me. All right, now we roll it under. There you go. So you roll it under so any leaves or anything just roll right off when you roll it up. You get on the other side where there's not backlighting, maybe you can see it a little better. So now you tie those bows. There you go. Make sure it's a bow, not a knot. Okay, there we go. Now we got a bow. And then you zip it up towards the center, stop about right there, and bring the other one around, and that's all there is to it. It's good to air out your awning. Also, when you're doing the canvas, you know, and even if you haven't used the trailer, you want to, if it's sitting there all summer, you want to put it up a few times during the summer and open it up and let it completely dry out, because you know, you do get hot and cold, and you can get condensation inside, and you just want to keep it dry and mold free. So you want to unfurl the awning too, and you want to set it up even if you're not going to use it. And definitely, if you put it away when there was still morning dew on it or during the rain, you always want to, first chance you get, let it completely dry out. That's very, very important. The other very important thing is you never cover these with one of those blue tarps that you see at the hardware store. Never. If you put any cover over it, it has to be a breathable cover made for an RV. It has to breathe, because if not, if you put a regular tarp over it, it's going to trap all the humidity underneath, and because it rises normally, it's going to be moldy, and it's worse. Covering a trailer with a blue non-breathable tarp is worse than not covering it at all. So always keep that in mind. You never use one of those things on your pop-up, okay? All right then, well, you may have some more issues, and we'll talk you through everything. We'll do everything we can, but hopefully this was our first attempt to, with my co-workers here, to do one of these, so it's a little bit rough, but we went over all the important points. And so remember, you want to check the seals. It's always important to check the corner seals, the seal around the vent, and also any place on the side you see caulk from the factory. That's very important. Do not use hardware caulk. Use ProFlex, which is something you'll get in an RV place. This one uses clear ProFlex on it. So, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and have fun with it.